Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Temecula City Council meeting. What's today, the 24th? Sure is. Glad to have you all with us. We had, did Susan play any prelude music? Susan, are you here still? Susan Miyamoto? Well, thank you, Susan. You always play for us nicely, and thank you for being here tonight. It's always a good idea to start off a council meeting with an invocation. Is Pastor Christopher McPike of Calvary Chapel, Temecula here? Pastor, come on up. And then I'm going to ask Mayor Pro Tem Stewart to give us the flag salute. So please remain standing while we have the invocation and the flag salute.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council and the City of Temecula. It's a privilege to be here tonight. Before I pray, I want to read one thing that's very meaningful to me in the church. Paul wrote to Timothy, a young pastor, and said, "Therefore I exhort, first of all, that supplications, prayers, and intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings and all who are in authority, that we may lead quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and reverence." And it's a joy for me to be able to be here and pray because a lot of times we see that politics and government is anything but quiet and peaceable. And I think as we start more in prayer, we're going to see more of that. Our meetings are praying for our government, local, federal, so on and so forth. We'll see people actually praying for our leaders instead of praying on them. I think we'd all like to see a lot more of that. P-R-A-Y instead of P-R-E-Y. Anybody for that?
Amen.
Okay, let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this night. And I pray, Lord, for every leader, for the mayor, for Mayor Pro Tem, Lord, for the city council, Lord, for all the different department heads, Lord, for the first responders, Lord, everybody represented from this great city tonight, Lord, that you would put your Holy Spirit upon them. And Lord, that you'd guide them and lead them, help them lead the city and to be even a greater city, Lord, than it even is now. Lord, you'd help it reach its full potential, Lord. And again, that you'd guide each leader, Lord. Give them wisdom. Give them counsel, Lord, divine counsel. Be glorified in this town. And for we ask all these things in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, please join me in saluting our flag. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless you. Please be seated. Madam City Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yes. Councilmember Edwards is absent. Councilmember Ron.
Here.
Councilmember Schwenk.
I'm here.
Councilmember Stewart.
Here.
Mayor Nagar.
And the mayor's in the house. We have our government students here, which is a delight to have. Always like to do a poll. Where are my Pumas tonight? All right, Pumas repping well. What about the Wolf Pack? Oh, Wolf Pack, nobody. Okay, Golden Bears? All right. All right, looks like the Pumas win the night. You're here on a very special night, okay? It's not often we get to do this, but we're going to spend the first part of our meeting celebrating somebody who has spent 30 years helping to build Temecula. And so there's a virtual who's who of old Temeculans here in this, old and not so old Temeculans here in this council chambers. And so it's a special evening. However, I know you're only have to stay here till 8 p.m. So at 8 p.m., you can leave and you can collect your slips in the back, okay? Okay? All right, sounds good. Let's see. So we're going to launch right into it. Presentations and proclamations. To hear tonight, we're going to celebrate the work and all the accomplishments of our dear beloved Alice Sullivan, okay? And you're going to hear all about Alice Sullivan over the next hour or so. Madam City Clerk, let the record reflect Miss Edwards is here, albeit late. No, I'm just messing with with you. I'm messing with you. Okay. But Alice, I don't know that we can do it all in one night, and I don't even know that, verbal platitudes and one night of recognition it's just not fair. It's just not right because of the day in and day out effort that you've put into this city and into this city council. More on that later. But we have a litany of people who have come to speak your praises and say thank you. And I think the first person I'd like to call is Supervisor Chuck Washington. Chuck, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief because I know there are a lot of people that want to speak and honor Alice tonight. I was thinking earlier today about the things that I wanted to reflect on as we honor Alice. I feel like I've known Alice for about half of my life. It's actually only been around 20 years now. But when I first became acquainted with Alice, and that was working on a committee for the chamber, and then later had the honor of becoming a board member, I learned more and more about how chambers work, and really came to recognize this chamber that I was sitting on their board as, and I've told Alice this many times, probably the best chamber of commerce in the entire Southern California region. She is graceful and professional. She always represents the city very well. I know she'll be missed immensely. I brought a proclamation for her. I won't hold it up because it's a short novel of all of Alice's accomplishments and contributions to this community. But in front of God and everyone else here tonight, I would like to say, Alice, I love you. You have been a role model for so many of us, and you're going to be sorely missed.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Is someone here from State Senator Jeff Stone's office? Have they arrived yet? I hear they're running kind of late. Okay. How about Assemblymember Marie Waldron's office? Come on down.
Well, good evening. My name is Christy. I'm here on behalf of Assemblywoman Marie Waldron. And we, too, would also like to echo our congratulations and thank you so much to Alice. We are celebrating our 30 years here in Temecula, and Alice has been here for close to 29, almost 30 years. So when you think Temecula and how much it's grown into this tourism city, a city of business, a city of just people come here, it's because of Alice and the work she's done with the chamber. All the businesses know you. Every event I go to, you're there. And it's not just business, it's charity work, it's the manufacturing council. I can't even name all the things. So the Assemblywoman will be at your other party. You get two parties because you're so special to us with the chamber. And she also has a framed resolution for you. But tonight we also brought another award because you're so special so that you can take both of those home with you. And we really appreciate everything you've done for the city. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Butch, always a pleasure to see you here representing the Pechanga Band of Los Sueños Indians. Come on down.
Alice. Gosh, I've known Alice for a very long time. I would think probably closer to 30 years than 20 years. You know, 30 years ago, Temecula wasn't quite what it is today. And 30 years before that, it wasn't quite what it was 30 years ago. And I once in a while, I have the opportunity to talk about the days that I remember as a child watching cowboys round up cattle and brandings and put them on trucks and haul them off to market. So needless to say, this valley was quite a bit different then. It's grown considerably in the last 30 years. Old Town has become what it's become. The industrial park has really grown beyond what I ever thought it would be. There are community parks and schools, 3 high schools. Whoever thought there would be 3 high schools in little old Temecula? And even our own little resort and casino down the street we've been able to get. You know, Alice, you've literally been a great help in building this valley to be the economic force that it is today. You've always been a good friend and a champion for Pechanga, helping us whenever we've asked for your help. Even in the early days before it was a good thing to be a friend of Pechanga. You've been a great advocate for us to other chambers of commerce throughout California, volunteering your time and passion to help with our statewide ballot campaigns and many other issues. On behalf of the Tribal Council and the Pechanga people, we are deeply grateful for your support and your friendship over these many years. We are a stronger community because of your dedication and vision to economic strength, and we wish you all the best in this next chapter of your life. And finally, there's a plaque that we put together that I'd like to read very quickly because it's not a novel. But it's a plaque with our tribal seal on it in gold, presented to Alice Sullivan, September 24th, 2019, with deep appreciation for your many years of support to the Pechanga Band of Liseño Indians. Noshun Lovak, which is thank you in our language.
Now I'd like to call up Brian Connors, who's now heading up the very chamber that you've spent 30 years helping to build, Alice. Brian, come on up with the Temecula Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is it okay if I use this? And
Yes.
Is it rude if I turn my back to you?
Not at all.
Okay. Is this ready to go? Okay. Alice, could you come up here with me? And I want you to know how much you are loved. What can you say about a woman that transcends a business environment to one that is filled with a heart full of gratitude, of warmth, of professionalism? She transcends the very meaning of professionalism. She transcends one who gives of herself, of her heart, of her time, of her family, her community. It's a remarkable accomplishment she's made in 29 years. Incredible. I want to also invite at this time, I have a few more words, but just to see if the current board members, can they come here and join me and face this way to the audience? Come and join me, the current board members that are here in attendance. And then I'd like to also invite anyone else who has served on the board in the 29 years of Alice's career. Could you come up here? Look at this incredible, this is a who's who of Temecula.
Sure is.
Please come join us. Look at this, it's incredible. It's an amazing accomplishment, Alice. Look at how many people love you. And I know Alice is uncomfortable because she's the one that scoots us out in the spotlight, right? And yet she's behind the scenes orchestrating all these amazing things. Now it's her time to shine. We love you, Alice. We congratulate you on 29 years of incredible service to our community. The businesses thank you. The chamber thanks you. The staff, the board, everybody. And we can't say enough about who you are and what you stand for, Alice. Thank you so much. And thank you, yes. I also want to thank the city for putting this on this evening, for allowing us an opportunity to brag about our queen bee here. We love her. Okay. Well, congratulations. And we do have a declaration of appreciation here. If we can put that up and we get a photo. Yeah, everybody stay up here if you're please.
Come on, John.
Oh, yeah. You should be in here.
Up in front, John, right there.
Right here. Get on in there.
TV show. Thank you again. Congratulations.
What a beautiful group. How about Ken Westmeyer and Melody Brunsting representing Visit Temecula Valley? Come on down.
Alice, I think you know why they chose us.
Yes.
You would remember more than anybody. What I have to say about Alice, aside from being one of the best friends I've had, is she always believed in us. And when I walked in saying we needed to make a convention and visitors bureau out of a funny little tourism committee, most people thought I was nuts. But she put Ken and I together, and we had a dog and pony show, and we went around telling everybody how this industry was going to grow. And she believed in us. Like no one other, she believes in us, and what she does is she takes 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, puts the right people together, and builds an empire. And I'm grateful to everything she's done for me, as well as for this community.
So you guys tonight are going to hear about all of her accolades and things that she's done. The most impressive thing to most of us is I'd go to her office and want to talk about occupancy and tourism, and all she wanted to do is say, "How's your family?" And if anybody didn't start a meeting that way with her, something was wrong. But I appreciate that, and it kept me in Temecula. So thank you for all you've done for us.
Thank you.
This is mostly for John.
Thank you very much. Now, from the Manufacturing Council, Jan Refstal. Jan, come on down. You're the next contestant in the Honor Alice.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I'm here representing the Manufacturing Council this evening, and we would like to thank Alice for many years of service to the community and her outstanding talent in connecting people and making things happen. Having been the co-chair of the council for only a few years, I had limited interaction with Alice, but in seeing her in action, it was obvious to me why the Chamber and the Manufacturing Council are successful. Alice is a people person who is always warm and friendly. She goes out of her way to make those around her feel warm and welcome. And you've heard that from many people here this evening. She is relentless when it comes to getting people involved and doesn't accept no for an answer. Alice is the reason the Manufacturing Council has been successful. On more than one occasion, Bob and I attempted to contact other manufacturers to attend our meeting and to get involved in the internship program. In most cases, we weren't able to get people to return our calls or respond to emails, let alone attend the meetings. But Alice made it happen. Alice did a great job keeping the group organized and preparing our agendas, arranging interesting guests and speakers with good food at great locations. Alice, thank you for the commitment to the Manufacturing Council, the Chamber, and the City of Temecula. You'll be missed, but we want you to wish you the best in retirement and your future endeavors. Thank you.
All right. Old Town Temecula Association, Mr. Puma. Not Chaparral Puma, Craig Puma.
The original. The original Puma, I like to say.
That's right.
Mr. Mayor, you said it best. We don't have enough time this evening to give all the accolades and the wonderful comments about this person right here next to me. She is phenomenal. She's professional, she's elegant. She is absolutely the epitome of Temecula. In the last several years, we've heard Believe in Temecula, we've heard the heart of Temecula, all the different things that our mayors have said about Temecula. They must all get the idea from her, because that's where they get it. That's where it comes from. As some of the people behind me know, I get a little high-strung sometimes, and I've been into Alice's office, and I've been in front of her, and I've been like frustrated, and I'm, oh my God, help me, and I've got a problem with another business or something going on, and she says, Craig, you know, why don't you just bake some cookies, sit down with them and talk, and I think everything will be okay. And it, in the end, was. I want to read this to you. It's very short, and it's from our Old Town Temecula Merchants Association, and it reads, an appreciation for your commitment to excellence in the Temecula Valley with an emphasis to the service you have provided to the heart of the city. The Old Town Temecula Association extends heartfelt thanks for your never-ending dedication to the growth of our business and our tourism communities. You have made your mark in Old Town forever. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Murrieta Temecula Group, Morris Myers. Come on down.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. You know, I was thinking there were going to be some really long-winded people here tonight, so I made sure mine was short and sweet. But, you know, hearing everybody say a few things before I read what I've got here, I'm going to say a couple of things, because Alice has just been such a huge part of all of our lives. Melody brought up about how the Visit Temecula Valley began. It was the same with the EDC, where I was for a number of years, and it was just a committee in the chamber. And now today, it's doing for the whole region and all, so it's a great thing, and it's also 29 years old, so it's been from the very start. On that, for all of that, we thank you. But I just want to say, on behalf of the members of the Murrieta Temecula Group, I offer our congratulations on your retirement. After nearly 30 years of leadership and service to the Chamber of Commerce, the City of Temecula, and the entire Southwest Riverside County region. Little did I know when we met 25 or so years ago how much you would affect all our lives. From the beginning, you have held us all to a higher standard and made us better people, better businesses, and a better community. Thank you, Alice, for all you've done and all you will do in the future. Best wishes from MTG on your well-deserved retirement.
Thank you. Terry Gilmore.
Okay, this won't be short. Morris, I'll take care of it. You know, thanks, Mayor Nagar, city council members, city staff, for your contribution tonight to celebrate a great lady. And I think I'd like to go over some of the accomplishments that she's led through her leadership at the Chamber. In 1997, she led the Shop Temecula First efforts to encourage shoppers to spend their dollars locally to feed the local economy. In 1997, she led the Chamber team to promote the passing of Measure C campaign, which was a special tax for the maintenance of all parks and recreational facilities. Also in 1997, the Chamber led the efforts to make sure Temecula was shown in all TV network weather maps. That was a big deal. Without Melody, that would not have happened. Temecula was still small, and getting on those weather maps was really a hard job. In 1998, she founded the Tourism Council. And also in 1998, she led the Chamber in supporting Pechunga's efforts to support the passing of Proposition 5. 1999, led the support of AB 1406, allowing the allocation of funds to fight Pierce disease, supporting Temecula's wine country. 1999 through 2003, led the Chamber in purchasing land and building a permanent residence for the Chamber to do its future business. Also in 2003, she led the efforts of the Tourism Council to branch off from the Chamber and start the Tourism and Visitors Council, known today as Visit Temecula. 2005, led the creation of the Southwest California Legislative Council. 2008, led the efforts in the founding of the Valley Young Professional, known today as VYP. 2011, identified the need for the Chamber to support the city of Temecula and Pechunga over the proposed quarry project. Also, in 2013, helped launch the Southwestern Manufacturers Council. 2016, partnered with the city of Temecula for the passage of Measure S campaign for public safety. And she's maintained a membership of 1,000 businesses and provided many avenues for membership to network in a first-class environment through mixers, golf tournaments, women in business events, Monte Carlo nights, morning coffee connections, to name a few, as well as the annual awards gala with attendance of over 700. And not only does it recognize businesses and individuals, we recognize nonprofits as well. Her vision, her ability to manage the different personalities of more than 125 board members over the last 25 years, and her genuine passion for what she does, as well as her character, is what has led this organization to be so great for the last 25 years. Year after year, she's implemented necessary changes to create an organization that's become an asset to our business community. She's contributed much to the city and to the business community, and we are all the lucky ones. She is the Bill Belichick of Chamber CEOs. Alice Sullivan. Thanks, Alice.
Thank you, Terry. Justin Lawler.
Hi, thank you. So for the last 15 years, I went from a local advertising agency that's worked with the Chamber. I went, before that, an employee of the Chamber. Before that, a freelancer for the Chamber dating back to 2005. So I've had the pleasure of working with Alice for nearly 15 years. Fun fact, I currently hold the title for the longest standing male employee at the Chamber. It was really tough explaining to my parents why my photo was pictured with the rest of the TVC staff for the Women in Business issue of the Valley Business Journal. To really use 3 minutes to tell everyone why Alice means so much is one of the hardest things I've really had to do. Alice means a lot to me. She's been a boss, a mentor, and a friend. As a boss, when I was a designer, as an employee, she always would get the best out of me. Like any artist, she knew she had to give me a couple compliments before telling me what I really needed to change. It took me years to figure out what the compliment sandwich approach really was. Justin, this year's gala invitation looks amazing. You really outdid yourself. It's beautiful. It's really a shame that some of our older members might see the type because it's so small. Is there a way you could enlarge it a little bit without it affecting your amazing design? As a mentor, she's encouraged me to start my own business. She's a huge supporter. She always knew what issues I was dealing with. Starting my business, she always knew what the solution was, or more importantly, knew the member that would, and point in the right direction. As a friend, she always remembered my birthday. She even threw me a baby shower at one point. And then when tragedy struck my family, Alice was there to help and support any way she could. Those are just some of the things that I appreciate Alice for, but when I was writing this, I was really trying to think what Alice does best, and what makes her not only great at her job, but makes her so special. And I think I figured it out, and that is Alice spends the time. No matter what her day is like, what her schedule looks like, she always is present and listening. She does it every day with staff. She does it every day with chamber members, people in the community, friends and family. And this is something we could all take for our own lives and our own businesses, and we could all be better for it. Just spend time and listen. So Alice, I love you, and I thank you for everything you've done for me, but most importantly, I thank you for spending your time with me.
Tom Summers. Tom?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm glad to be here to speak in praise and gratitude to my friend Alice Sullivan. I think that I'm here not as a dignitary, of course, but really as an average chamber member. I know that my success in business in our local community has really been largely due to the help and support that I've gotten from the Temecula Chamber, and of course under the leadership of Alice Sullivan. Like Brian mentioned, she does so much behind the scenes, so many things that just seem to happen, but they wouldn't happen if it weren't for Alice. I also learned that a lot of what she does isn't directing you to do something, but just making a little suggestion that maybe so-and-so would be a good person to talk to, or maybe you'd like to consider doing thus and such. And I learned over the 12 years that I've known Alice that I should pay attention to those hints and comments, because she doesn't say anything that doesn't have some positive purpose behind it. One of the most enjoyable things I've done as part of my time at the Chamber is doing site visits with Alice. It was really under her initiative. She said, would you like to come to me and do some site visits and visit companies in our community? And we've been doing that for years now. We've probably visited hundreds of companies together. And I'm amazed at the breadth and range, different kinds of businesses that are in Temecula. We've run into cowboy piano tuners, and there was even a business that specialized in consulting and business services to the cannabis industry. And they were just starting a farm in Macedonia. And this was all happening from Temecula. It was really quite surprising. But we've had a lot of fun. Alice got me involved in the ambassador program at the Chamber. That was one of her suggestions, and I've been head of the ambassador program a couple of times, and that's something I've really enjoyed. Because of Alice's positive attitude toward the community and toward businesses, she's made it easy for all of us to make all the new members and new businesses that join the chamber feel welcome. And that's something that we've really learned from Alice by example, and we've welcomed many, many companies into the chamber. I don't have a proclamation or a plaque, I'm sorry, but I wrote a poem. And I'm going to read the whole thing, but you should listen very carefully because it's very short. So it's called Retirement. Softly, behind the scenes, heart for Temecula, we feel an unfillable space. Alice.
Jackie Steed. Jackie, are you here?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. Thank you for having me here this evening. I am, of course, here tonight to honor Alice. I walked into the chamber 13 years ago this month, and the very first person that greeted me was Alice Sullivan. She has been a mentor and a friend to me ever since. She has pushed me forward. She's made me stand up there with the mic and do all the things that leaders need to do in training. So I thank her for that. The great thing about Alice is she doesn't like being in the spotlight. She likes to push other people. And every business that walks in that door, she wants them to be successful. And she truly means that. When she says, this is not my chamber, this is not our chamber, this is your chamber to every single member, she truly means that. Under her leadership, the chamber has done amazing things with the help of the city and with the help of Visitor Center. So many things have happened, and it's been under her leadership. Many seminars and programs and classes for all the local businesses that have become successful because of her leadership. So Alice, thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you've done. We truly love you. We will truly miss you, and we wish you the best in your retirement.
Thank you. Laura Turnbow. Laura?
Well, I'm filling in for Joan. I'm just a little shorter than she is. And this is what Joan wrote. She is so sorry she couldn't be here this evening. She sincerely wanted to be, but every once in a lifetime, you have the great pleasure of meeting an exemplary person. 29 years ago, I met Alice Sullivan. She is the epitome of an exemplary person. Her honesty, loyalty, and dedication to our region reflects all of her efforts in being such a talented and intelligent lady. I have lived here for 50 years, since 1969, and experienced the many programs introduced to us by Alice. I am so proud to be among her friends, and I wish her the most successful, restful retirement with her wonderful husband, John, and family. Thank you, Alice. You will be sincerely missed by all. Joan. And she's my best friend, and I'm going to miss her dearly.
Thank you. I'm going to turn to my council colleagues. Would any of my colleagues like to say anything? Dr. Ron.
Thank you. Well, you know, one of the most important partnerships I think a city can have is that with the chamber. And it works well in Temecula, exceptionally well. You've led by example. Other cities pay attention, other chambers pay attention to how exactly well it works here. You've set new standards for the industry, I think, really. And what a chamber actually should be doing. You roll up your sleeves with the rest of us, and you're not afraid to get into the trenches alongside of us. You have the strength to do the right thing, not just the popular thing. And you have a fierce dedication to the folks you work with, the chamber, our profession here as a group of folks who are looking to forward a city and make things in people's lives better. And a fierce dedication to your community. It's because of that you are definitely leaving an indelible mark on our community and our region, and on the lives of everyone here and really generations to come. You have a modest dignity and a consummate professionalism that you carry, and you have set a very high bar for chambers across the region and also your predecessor. And we thank you very much for everything you've done for our community.
Thank you, Dr. Ron. Councilmember Schwenk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Alice, what can I say that hasn't already been said, right? I think just thank you, really from the bottom of my heart. You know, the first cup of coffee that I shared with you, I was like, okay, Alice means business, and she is great for our city. So, you know, I think as you look around, you've left your fingerprints on our city. You know, 29 years of hard work and dedication. It really shows. And I know there's folks they're walking around Old Town or they're walking around Temecula and they're sort of realizing like, wow, look at this. And you helped create that. And you led the city, the Chamber of Commerce in partnership with the city to create the things that we've created. So just really from the bottom of my heart, just a hearty thank you and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you, Councilmember Schwenk. Mayor Pro Tem Stewart.
Well, Alice, if you don't know anything about Alice, if you could see her husband's face and the pride that he has in her, that says it all. I mean, he's just beaming down there. So, and I've always thought of Temecula as like a classy place to live. And I understand why, because she was our classy first lady. And so I mean, the city kind of developed around the image you created. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Stewart. Councilmember Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I have the honor of presenting remarks from a dear friend of ours and someone who's worked closely with the Chamber, and that's Sally Myers. And she apologizes that she couldn't be here, but I'm going to read her words for you. And let me tell you, there are a lot of happy faces in here. So Sally says, the years have certainly passed quickly, but the one thing that stands out, Alice, is who you are, a woman of strength, devotion, discipline, structure, character, love for community, and an enduring faithfulness to do the right thing. Gary and I opened the Temecula Sizzler in November of 1983 and joined the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce under the leadership of Bill Harker. In the early 80s, when we walked into the chamber with our 2 children under 4 in our arms, our third on the way, and told Bill that we were going to build a Sizzler restaurant in Temecula, he chuckled with his memorable smile and twinkling eye. I love Bill Harker. Yes, it actually happened, and this young family today has cherished the growth of Temecula like so many other families and newcomers to our valley. Our first Temecula babysitter was Bill Harker's daughter, so everything we did was Chamber and Sizzler related. A few years later, Alice joined the Chamber at a special God-appointed time, and her gift was developing a team of community leaders who held the residents, their businesses, the beauty, and the future of Temecula Valley as their highest priority. Your enduring nature and ability to bring people together for such a time as this is truly your gift. Alice, you've paved the way for others to succeed, and although there is only one Alice, your style, dedication to your calling is legendary and will always be remembered. I searched God's words for a verse on gratitude and thankfulness, and the Lord led me to 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Alice, enjoy your new season of life and know that your legacy to our valley lives on. You've touched so many lives in Temecula, our state, and beyond. Your heart for service is contagious. Your friend, Sally Myers. There's really no way that you get adequately prepared for this evening, because the first time I remember meeting Alice was when I worked at the EDC, and I'm guessing it was maybe 1995, 96, something like that. And Alice and I, along with Marcia Sauser and Mary Winter, got together to develop the city's first logos to identify the city. And it was a really fun project, and it was the 4 little wood block cutouts that we used for years and years and years, and they stuck with the city. That was my first time meeting Alice and having a chance to work with her, and we've gotten to work on so many projects since then. You probably don't think about this, but Alice really does have to drive that train from the back seat. And it's a very, very difficult and delicate process to be the leader of an organization that is run basically by a board of directors, a group of people, and Alice never knew from one election to the next who would be on the board. And she, I can say without question, worked beautifully with every board member and every board that I'm aware of, and I think beyond that, because I know what Bill Harker used to say about Alice, but it's very difficult to do the things that she does, number one, but to be able to direct that and guide that from the back seat, where you're really working for other people and moving their policies and their desires forward on behalf of all the businesses in Temecula. And our chamber is unique in that it never really shied away from things that were politically sensitive, because they always came down on the side of local control and local business. And that includes everything that was mentioned already, from Measure C, which was the measure that helped us to pay for our parks. I remember Prop A for tribal self-reliance. That was huge. I remember when we met, I think it was at Temecula Creek Inn, when you were first talking about the Convention of Visitors Bureau, and we met, and we talked about the fact that it would eventually probably have to come with a TOT, which again would be another sensitive issue, and it's worked out beautifully. Then, of course, the quarry battle that went on for what seemed like forever, and thank goodness Pechanga stepped up and saved this entire valley by purchasing that land, which was their sacred land. So the chamber was there for us all along the way. And, you know, I like to think about Alice, she's like a mother with 900 plus children, because she loves every business for its uniqueness and no one business over the other. And that's also a very delicate balancing act when you think about having to make recommendations, but you don't want to favor one business over the other. And she just handled it with aplomb and dignity and everything that we've come to expect from Alice Sullivan. So, you know, I could talk about the time that the chamber galas used to be in a tent, the time that it poured rain and the water was running through the tent. This was before Pechanga was built, and we needed a place that was large enough. I mean, it hasn't always been easy, but Alice always made it fun, and she organized things so that everyone felt like they had a role to play. There are just so many things we could say, and a lot has been said, but you've been a great role model for me, and we were so young that first time that we got together, but it seems like yesterday. So I have only wonderful things, you know, wonderful wishes for you, and hope that you and John have, you know, a long, enjoyable retirement of doing everything that you both deserve to do. You've earned it. So on behalf of the business community in the city of Temecula, thank you more than we can say.
Thank you, colleagues, and now it's my turn. You know, Temecula is going to be 30 years old here in about 2-3 months. And it's remarkable when you think about it. And as I look back over the years that I've been honored to participate in Temecula, one thing that I've learned, that nothing, absolutely nothing, gets done by one person alone. In fact, I think that's been our strength. Everybody here, and there's a variable who's who of Temecula in this room, And we can probably fill about 3 or 4 more chambers just like this, and then some, with people who have contributed to making Temecula what it is today. I want you to, in your mind's eye, think about something for a minute. Maybe go back 30 years. It's hard to imagine because it's just not in our mind's eye every day, but I want to take you back to a time when truly tumbleweeds rolled through Old Town.
Yeah, they did.
No joke. When Old Town was a ghost town. I want to take you back to when Rancho California Road was 2 lanes, where we had people directing traffic over the freeway. Our traffic officers or our traffic monitors. To a time when the Promenade Mall wasn't here and sheep were grazing. And that was just sort of what you got looking forward to seeing. Take you back before the shopping centers, before the Home Depots, before the power centers and everything that we see around. Back to the day Highway 79, Temecula Parkway. Before it was Temecula Parkway, was 2 roads, 2 lanes. Who remembers the fruit stand? Okay, it's a who's who. And every step of the way, Alice, you've been part of that. And it could not have been done without you, and it could not have been done without the Chamber of Commerce. It could have not been done with a lot of people in this room, but you know what? Your leadership at the Chamber of Commerce played an integral role. And what was that role? The business community came here, and then it started to grow exponentially. And then the business community started to bring their families here. Word got out that this was a place to do business. This was a place to raise your family. Last meeting, we celebrated the manufacturers. I believe it was the Economic Development Week. Christine, help me here. Manufacturing Day. Thank you very much. And I asked a pointed question of the manufacturers who came here repping the Manufacturers Council. And I asked them, you could be anywhere. You can manufacture anywhere. Why here? Why 20 years ago did you come here? And without a doubt, they continue to cite, number one, the friendly business community, the growth opportunities, the safety, and the family community. And there's no doubt that the Chamber of Commerce played a part in that, and it was steered by you, Ms. Sullivan. So let's have a little bit of fun. I'm going to ask my council colleagues to join me down below, all of us. Thank you, yeah. Okay, I think I'm on. All right. First, we have a lovely bouquet of flowers for you. That's first, okay? Next, we have a proclamation. And I'm going to ask Chuck Washington to come up and read the proclamation, please, Chuck. No, I'm just... Yeah, whereas. I'll tell you what. You go home tonight, you pour a nice glass of wine between you and John, and you pull that proclamation out between the two of you, and you guys go through it. Because it says everything and more that we just can't say in an hour. It just doesn't do you service. Pardon? Yeah, exactly. It is a short novel. But let's do a couple of things we can do right now. Can you hold this for me? All right. You know what? Yeah, that's a good idea. You open it. Thank you. Here, take the flowers. You open it.
I'd like to see Christmas at your house.
You know, you're right. Get in here. It's the Alice Sullivan way. Okay, we're not done yet. If my colleagues can join me back on the dais. So imagine coming to every city council meeting, give or take. I presume sometimes you might have been sick. For 29 years. Typically sort of sitting right back over there, Alice. But I think we could always look forward to you being there. And it was interesting because oftentimes, we've had some, let me back up. We've done a lot of good stuff here. Okay, here in these chambers and in the other city hall before. And oftentimes, you would watch it, we'd get an affirming email the next day, or, okay, we'd get that little nudging email, well, Mayor Mike, Councilman Nagar, you guys could have done this, or you could have done that, but you're always a participant, and you are always here. So just imagine coming to every council meeting, just about for 29 years. That speaks volumes. And so I think it's appropriate, and the council thinks it's appropriate, that we dedicated a chair in these chambers to your honor, okay? And where is the chair? Could somebody point it out, please? Are you sitting in it? Okay. Young man, get out of the chair, okay? just for now. Just for now, you can sit in it later, okay? No, don't, because we're gonna ask Alice to sit in it, and we're gonna take a picture of it. And there's a plaque on the chair, okay? And here's what the plaque says. Alice Sullivan devoted nearly 30 years of Tuesday evenings to personally attend Temecula City Council meetings. During this time, she exemplified a brilliantly effective, successful, and invaluable civic partnership with the city of Temecula. Now that chair is named after you in perpetuity. You're only the second person ever received that honor. The other honor went to Elton and Jeannie Ward,
Yep.
okay, who for doggone near almost the same amount of time came to those council meetings. And Jeannie's passed away, hasn't she? Yeah, both of them have passed on. Alice, go look at your new chair. Okay.
I think she should have to come and sit in it at least once a year.
You mean to keep it current?
To keep, yes.
You're welcome.
And everything is right with the world.
Well, while you're up and walking back, Alice, I think it's time for you to talk.
I love this moment. So thank you all so much. You have an amazing city staff.
Amen.
Excellent. Wonderful city manager. So I am honored and humbled by this recognition. I'm thankful for all the resolutions and the proclamations. It really is hard to believe that it's been nearly 30 years since I began this career at the Chamber. I can tell you that I'm really proud of the programs and the impact that the Chamber has had over time. I think the most important message that I'd like to leave you with all here tonight is the strength of the Temecula community has been, and I hope will always be, its partnerships, what you talked about, Mike. It has been incredible to see the support the Chamber has given and received from the city, Pechanga, Visit Temecula Valley, Wine Country, Old Town, and the many, many organizations, businesses, and the manufacturing sector. I have been so blessed in my career to have a strong leadership on the Chamber board and professional mentoring from so many chairmen, members, and our board members. I'm so, so thankful to my dedicated staff and our numerous ambassadors and volunteers who have really made my job easier. We have really made it through good times and not so good times.
Amen.
It's a reflection of the resilience that is forged through teamwork and those partnerships I had spoken about. I would be remiss in not mentioning Terry Gilmore, Joan Sparkman, Ron Bradley, Melody Brunstein, Brian Connors as outstanding board members, Kelly Shirey, who hired me all those many years ago, and Laura Turnbow, who has been there through it all. And a special thank you to my wonderful, wonderful husband, our sons, Nicholas, Gavin, Zane, and my son, Michael, who I love so, so much, and my wonderful, wonderful daughter-in-law, Amy, and my two beautiful grandchildren that they've given me, Noelle and Harlan, who's here tonight. Thank you again, and Christine Damko, I will miss you. Our wonderful site visits to, we have amazing businesses in Temecula. I'm just just so surprised every single day. Today we visited a diamond manufacturer grower here in Temecula. Just absolutely amazing. And Greg was there, Christine Damko, Brandy, and it just makes such a difference when businesses know that the Chamber, that the city care that they are here in Temecula, and just to hear that, thank you. So I'm going to finish now and just say that the Chamber would not be where it is today without the love and support from all of you. And thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Can I say something while they're taking a picture?
Yeah, go ahead.
So while they're taking pictures, I'm going to tell you a cute story about Alice. I think I ran into her, it's been many years ago, and I think I remarked that we had missed her at an Assistance League event. And she said, "Oh, I was at a wedding," and that's all she said. And I learned probably 6 months later, it was her wedding.
Well,
You remember that?
so like it's as seen on TV, but wait, we're not done. Cue the video.
I'm here to express our gratitude for Alice Sullivan. Alice Sullivan has served on the Chamber Board as our Executive Director for over 29 years. Alice has been a strong namesake, not only in the valley, but throughout our region. I can say on behalf of our tribe, Pechanga, Alice has always been inclusive in all the efforts that we have prevailed in. She's been a supporter of our enterprise, as well as other industries that came to Temecula. Congratulations, Alice, on your retirement. I wish you the very best. And on behalf of the Pechanga Resort and Casino, Chairman Macaro and the Tribal Council, but more importantly, the people of Pechanga, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. No shalom.
You've heard me often say, if it wasn't for you in the chamber, I don't think my business would be what it is today. So thank you for that. You and I have also dealt with chamber members, chamber staff. Many people won't realize what I'm saying, but the way you dealt with and stepped in with Patty, there is a personal side of you that's absolutely unbelievable, what you do for people. And again, for that, not only myself, but everybody else thanks you.
On behalf of Cal State San Marcos Temecula campus, we would like to congratulate you on 29 years of service. Thank you for everything that you've done for our community, and good luck on your retirement. Personally, I would like to thank you for all of your mentorship and for welcoming me with open arms to the board of directors when I first got my position up here.
Hello, Alice. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight when the city officially recognizes and honors you for all of your accomplishments. The start of the tradition of the state of the city, which you've been a big part of, and then, of course, your dedication and leadership on establishing the visitor center. Anyway, good luck to you and John. Have a great second part of your life.
From all the Temecula Valley Chamber ambassadors, we love you.
We're going to miss you.
And thank you, Alice, for all you've done.
Hey, Alice, thanks for the memory. You know, Alice, 30 years is a long time. I'm sitting here on 20, and it's hard to imagine that you got 10 more on me. So many people look at Temecula and they think that it just happened. And one of the things I have to go around everywhere we go is tell people it was not an accident, that a lot of people work to make Temecula what it is. I can say without a doubt that you are one of those people, and without you, there is no Temecula as we know it today. I love you and God bless.
Alice Sullivan, 29 years and you're leaving? Really? You got to give this stuff a chance. Come on. On a serious note, Alice, we're so happy for you on your retirement. You've put in your time. You've done an awesome job. We've enjoyed working with you. I personally have enjoyed learning from you. Working with you at the Chamber has been an absolute pleasure. It's going to be a great retirement for you and John. We're very happy for you. Enjoy your time off and come around and visit us every now and then. We love you, Alice. Thank you.
I guess this retirement thing is contagious, seems to be that way. I'm really proud to have this opportunity to let you know how much I've enjoyed working with you over the years, and it hasn't just been enjoyable, it's been really, really productive. And I know sometimes I and the city put you and your board and your membership in difficult positions, seeking your support on some critical issues, most notably Liberty Quarry, and then more recently Measure S. But you came through on both of those and other things. So Alice, it's been a joy to work with you. I'm sorry to see you go, but I understand what it means to retire. I wish you nothing but the best, and thanks for all your help over the years.
Hey Alice, congratulations on 29 amazing years. You know, when I sort of think back to when we first moved here, to just think the impact that you've had on our community for those 29 years, you have done an amazing job helping to guide our city, helping to guide the Chamber all that time. So really, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and congratulations again.
Hey Alice, again, congratulations on 29 very productive years. As a new city councilman, you were one of the first faces I got to see, and you were a very welcoming face. And the groups that you got me involved with has really made me a better city councilman. So thank you very much for all you've done.
It really is my privilege to stand here with the city manager's office and having known you for 24, 25 years and watched your leadership in action and leading the Chamber of Commerce has been phenomenal. And we talk about true leadership and servant leadership, and you embody that. And I have had the privilege of watching you firsthand quietly lead this community and win championships. Your leadership in the Manufacturers Council, in growing chamber membership, and working with the city of Temecula has been nothing short of phenomenal. And you always say something, and it's stuck with me, that success is always about relationships and how we treat one another and the partnerships that are created between government, chambers, civic groups, nonprofits, and you've lived that out. And we are just attempting to emulate that. And we're gonna miss you here at the city of Temecula, but we wish you all the best in your retirement.
I just want to say today how thankful I am for the opportunity I've had for so many years to work alongside with Alice as a partner of the Chamber. Alice, you are amazing. And I don't think we in the community can say that enough to you. We are so thankful for all that you've done, all the time that you've spent connecting us together to one another, supporting our businesses, and just making us all feel like one big business community and a small family. Just thank you so much.
Thank you, Alice, for your contribution to the manufacturing community and your leadership here in Temecula. You've made a huge difference in the community, and we thank you for that.
Alice, I wish you well in your retirement. In 2004, when I moved to Temecula, you were the first person I met with, because being involved with the Chamber on a local basis was so important to me. You had no idea who I was, but yet you didn't hesitate one bit in setting up a meeting with me. I was so impressed with what you did for the Chamber and for the Valley that I couldn't wait to get involved with the Chamber when I moved here. You have done a fantastic job for this Valley and for Temecula and the Chamber, and I hope you have a fantastic retirement. We're going to miss you.
Thank you so much for everything you've done for me and the business community, and I wish you a great retirement. You deserve to be sent off into this beautiful Temecula sunset.
I really value you as an amazing leader, a gracious businesswoman, and someone who truly cares about our town. You'll be missed by not only myself, but I know this entire city of Temecula and surrounding community. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
I can't thank Alice enough for the difference that she's made in the opening of Temecula Valley Hospital in this beautiful community. When we first were introduced, I remember her as a very special lady. She was welcoming, she was warm, and she couldn't wait to embrace the Chamber around this special hospital. So thank you, Alice, for all that you've done to support us along the way, all the different health events, all the different community events, all the ribbon cutting and openings that you participated in. We all say thank you.
Alice, you've been such a force in this community, helping it develop, and you've been such a professional and a friend of the college. We're going to miss you so much. Thanks for all that you have done for us.
I can't believe it's been 29 years, but I remember the first time I met you, and it's when the four of us, you and I and two other ladies, gathered to create the city's logo, and we did those cutout wood blocks, and we've used those forever, I think up until the last couple of years. So not only have you left a lasting memory with the Chamber and with the city, you've left a lasting memory on paper. There are cities all over Southern California, or California in general, that have large chambers, but no chamber has been as effective as ours under your leadership. So thank you for everything you've done for the city, for our community, and for our businesses.
Thank you, Alice. You know, it's funny, just a quick secret. We're all filming these in pairs of 2s or 1s because we're still adhering to the Brown Act. So way to go, City of Temecula. But seriously, it's just been a huge honor to be able to work alongside you on a number of really consequential, really important projects for the City of Temecula. You have been an outstanding leader in the region and a representative of our city, and the reason why Temecula is what it is. And so we cannot thank you enough for all of your service and dedication to our community, and we all wish you well in retirement.
I would like to thank you for all you have done for me, the SVDC, and the entrepreneurs of our community. I am truly going to miss our little visits discussing the amazing things going on in our city of Temecula. Thank you for being a tireless professional, a helpful collaborator, and a good friend. Congratulations on your retirement. You deserve all the relaxation coming your way.
This is about my very dear, dear friend Alice Sullivan, who has been just a master of running our chamber. We are going to miss her so much and love her dearly, and we'll obviously keep in touch with her, but we want to thank her for all the wonderful things that she's presented to our communities and wish her the best luck in the world. Thank you.
Alice, to know you is to love, respect, and admire you. You have made it your life's work to invest in individuals and this community, and you've made us all better for it. I have the privilege of carrying your work forward, and I am grateful for your influence and for your mentorship up to this point. I am extremely confident that everyone in this room and in this community is going to use the tools that you've given us to face forward and be better together. Thank you for giving the best of yourself to make the very best of us.
Alice, on behalf of each chamber staff member, both past and present, we congratulate you on 29 amazing years with the chamber. You have meant so much to so many. You have been an amazing leader, mentor, and most of all, a cherished friend. Thank you for all the countless memories. We wish you joy and happiness every day of your future. Now fulfill your dreams, travel the world, sleep in, and gather countless more memories.
After 29 years of serving our community, thank you, Alice.
Thank you for being awesome, Alice.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you again.
Thank you, Alice, for helping us grow our destination to $1 billion in tourism. Here's to Alice.
Thank you, 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 Alice.
We love you, Alice.
But wait. Two more things we need to do. First thing is, Temecula City Council has a little bit more business to conduct, so I'm going to ask everybody to adjourn to a beautiful reception over in the conference center. So that's thing one. And thing two, to the young man I said to get out of the chair, thank you. I was joking. Come on up and take a picture with me, okay? All right. All right. Hey, everybody, we're going to finish our business, and we'll see you out there in a few minutes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Two quick things.
Yeah. Go ahead, quick.
No, just I want to thank Brandy and Jonathan Hall for putting that video together. They did an amazing job.
Beautiful.
But also,
thank you.
There's so many people that wanted to say thank you to Alice. The long version of that video is playing over in the reception.
Got it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to take just give it a 5-minute break. Okay, we're going to reconvene the Temecula City Council meeting. And now's, a couple of things, just a couple of cleanup items. I know, Erica, you're in training right now, right? Okay, so we need to run Erica through her paces. So you feel free to throw it at her, and it's a trial, baptism by fire. You'll be just fine, okay? All right. Now's the time for public comments. City Clerk in training, do we have any public comments?
Mr. Mayor, we do. We have 2 public comments.
Okay, could you call the first speaker? The video. Pardon?
The video.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Go ahead and play the video.
Chamber of Commerce, and my name is Amy, and I'm also with the Temecula Chamber of Commerce.
A total of 30 minutes is provided for the members of the public to address the City Council on items that appear within the consent calendar or a matter not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If the speaker chooses to address the City Council on an item listed on the consent calendar or a matter not listed on the agenda, a request to speak form may be filled out and filed with the City Clerk prior to the City Council addressing public comments and the consent calendar. Once the speaker is called to speak, please come forward.
For all public hearing or council business items on the agenda, a request to speak form may be filed with the City Clerk prior to the City Council addressing that item. On those items, each speaker is limited to 5 minutes.
Okay, can we have the first speaker, please?
The first speaker is Jeremy Goldman, followed by Monica Wiley.
Jeremy, good evening.
Jeremy Goldman with Southern California Edison. If you recall, I was here about a year ago talking about our wildfire mitigation efforts. Just want to remind you about that. I'm actually coming back in October to give another refresher on that. But you've probably seen some of the media today about potential power shutoffs. So just want to remind you about that. We're encouraging all of our customers to go to se.com to make sure that we have all their latest contact info. So in the event that if we did have to do that, we were able to notify them. So actually out in the Banning Pass area today, we did de-energize 2 circuits kind of in unincorporated area. About 80 customers were impacted. So look forward to being here back in October 22nd. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you. Always good to see you. Next speaker, please.
The next and final speaker is Monica Wiley.
Miss White, I'm sorry you had to sit through all of that.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council, for having me. My name is Monica Wiley, and I am the new Executive Director for your very own Animal Friends of the Valleys.
Oh, excellent.
And I'm very happy to be here, and I'd like to thank Alice as well, because when I first came for my visit, actually I've been here 17 days, 20 hours and 5 minutes, and drove from the Seattle area, and it's still raining there, but love Temecula, and so happy to be here, and looking forward to becoming more involved in the community. And for those of you, just a reminder, we do have our big gala this weekend for your eyes only. So if we have any Bond fans, it will be at Wilson Creek Winery. So please come and support, help the animals, help the community, and just very happy to be here and looking forward to, again, becoming more involved in what we have going on in the community and the people that love their animals and the animals here as well. Thank you.
Well, welcome, and welcome to the City Hall of Temecula and to Animal Friends. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, so what's the dress code for that Bond thing? Is it a dressy thing? Yes, okay. I just don't want to come underdressed. Okay, good.
Right, so I think shaken, not stirred.
It's thematic. In other words, he should bring his tuxedo.
I would say so.
Okay.
And his
Martini
Aston
glass.
Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent.
And you should play theme music while you're driving.
Right, there you go.
That's right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Before you leave, though,
Yes.
actually, you just kind of stimulated a thought. Mr. City Manager, you and I have been communicating about the coyote protocol, and I think you were going to be in touch with Animal Friends.
Yeah, I think Robert Cardenas was either in touch with you or maybe your staff, and we were sharing sort of the recent concerns that we have and looking for some direction and what could be done. And I think we still have another follow-up with AFV on that.
And maybe they can make a presentation or something of that nature. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Now, that has nothing to do with my last name being Wiley, does it?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
You know what? I set you up real nice for that.
Yes, you did. And that was a tough act to follow. So thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Ms. City Clerk, in training, is there any other speakers?
No.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to move on over to City Council reports. Any of my colleagues?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
So our third construction class started on Monday. And so our first construction class had approximately 15 signups 2.5 years ago. And we had 12 graduates. I think our last class, we had 30 signups and almost as many graduates. This year we had like 45 signups. So it's definitely building and gaining momentum. And so I'm super excited about that. And then also the active shooter training that's going to take place on Thursday is completely sold out, probably to the tune of double of what we have capacity. So we are looking into having a second shooter training class. So for those who did not get their tickets in or the reservations in, don't sweat it. As soon as we have another venue lined up, we will let you all know, and we'll go from there. So thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, good job on both of those. Yeah. I know when we did the groundbreaking at the college a couple of weeks ago, it was brought up that while you can get a college education, it was mentioned that you were much an advocate on vocational training as well, which is just as important. So thank you on both of those. And I'm surprised to see the training sold out. That's pretty cool. Councilmember Swank, did you have anything?
I do. I have a quick slide. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. We just wrapped up our PS Drive Safe campaign. We did a pedestrian awareness walk earlier this week, which was fantastic. But then CHP is offering a free 2-hour class for young drivers. So this is a way to start smart, as they say. So this is hosted here by the Temecula area CHP. And I believe it's here at the conference center. Yeah, so it's right here. I want to let the public know it's September 30th, but you can sign up through chp.ca.gov.
Thank you. Councilmember Edwards, anything tonight? Sounds good. So I have 2 quick items. Lynn, do me a favor. I want you to describe the event I'm speaking at on Wednesday because you did a real good job. I have the honor of speaking, actually it's tomorrow, which with the ELGL, which stands for Engaging Local Government Leaders. And then why don't you, it's going to be held here in the conference center. And Lynn, why don't you tell a little bit about it?
Sure, thank you. So ELGL, again, stands for Engaging Local Government Leaders, is a nationwide organization that really values inclusivity, diversity, spreading information, creating new ways to conduct government business and to connect local government workers throughout the United States. So brand new this year, there is a series of events, 27 events this week. It's called ELGL Road Trip. The city of Temecula applied and we were selected. And tomorrow we are hosting an event on the city's inclusion programs and focusing on engaging adults with special needs. And the mayor is kind enough to give us some introductory and welcoming remarks. And we have cities from the area, but actually all over Southern California. And in addition, the event is going to be recorded and put on ELGL's website and made available to its 4,000 members nationwide so we can share our wonderful programs with other municipalities nationwide.
Thank you so much. How many people do we expect tomorrow?
Tomorrow, about 30, and then the event will be available on the website, and we've had a lot of interest. Even an organization in London reached out about inclusivity, so it's really exciting.
That's awesome, and thank you for all the work you did on that.
Thank
and
you.
we'll report back to the council how that went. And then thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then my last comment, just sort of for some levity and anecdotally, Ira, how long have you been coming to city council meetings? Ira Robinson? About 10 years, okay. I happened to be perusing an old council meeting video from the old city hall, and I was looking for something, and lo and behold, there was Ira in the video way back in the back room. So just wanted to say, appreciate you coming, and when you speak, it's always a pleasure, so thank you. It seems like that's the type of night we're having tonight. All right. We're going to move to the consent calendar. We'll move very quickly. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine, and all will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the City Council request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. 1, waive the reading of standard ordinances and resolutions. 2, approve the action minutes of September 10th, 2019. 3, approve the list of demands. 4, approve the city treasurer's report of July 31st, 2019. 5, adopt a resolution supporting and declaring Clean Air Day at the request of Mayor Pro Tem Stewart and Council Member Swank. And that's it. I'll take a motion.
Second.
That was moved by Council Member Edwards, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Stewart. Please cast your votes. And feel free to mess with the clerk in training if you want. Like vote, then withdraw your vote. Just okay. Is everybody in?
Landing gear doesn't retract. Oh, I did.
Councilman Edwards?
I did.
I'll go ahead and do that for you.
See, I just did that. That was just, you know.
All righty. And that passes 5-0. At this time, we're going to recess the Temecula City Council meeting in favor of the Temecula Community Service District meeting. President Stewart.
So I will proceed with the Temecula Community Services District meeting. Madam City Clerk, we note that we're all here. Any public comments? No? Okay. So the only item is the consent calendar, which is item number 6, approve the action minutes for September 10th, 2019.
Move approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Please vote. All right. And that is likely to pass.
Did mine work that time?
Yes, okay, it passed 5-0. Director's report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We have just a few items over the next couple of weeks we'd like to call everyone's attention to. The first one will be this Saturday, September 28th, right out here in front of the Civic Center. We'll be having our 9th annual Temecula Health and Community Resource Fair, which is a great opportunity for people to come on out and learn about all of the resources and nonprofits and other things available to them here in the community to support their health and wellness. Friday, October 4th will be our ongoing monthly First Fridays Cultural Arts event, also known as Art Off the Walls. This will take place at the lot on Main Street next to the Merc. And finally, on Saturday, October 5th, it's everyone's favorite fall event, the Quilt Show, which will bring just beautiful textile arts throughout all of Old Town.
Thank you. General Manager's report.
Nothing further tonight, Mr. President.
Right. Any Board of Directors reports? Or none taken, so I will adjourn this meeting until October 8th, 2019.
Thank you. I'm going to reconvene the Temecula City Council meeting, public hearing portion of our meeting. Any person may submit written comments to the City Council before a public hearing or may appear and be heard in support of or in opposition to the approval of the projects at the time of the hearing. If you challenge any of the projects in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at the public hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the city clerk or prior to the public hearing. Item 7, approve the fiscal year 2018-19 CDBG Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, known as CAPER, and substantial amendments to 2016-17, 2017-18, and 2019-20 annual action plans. Can we have a staff report, Ms. Lynn?
We do. Good evening again, Mayor Nagar and members of the council. So tonight, I'm here to present 2 items to the City Council to present the annual performance report for CDBG and then also adopt substantial amendments to the 2016, 17, 17, 18, and 19, 20 action plans. So first, what is a CAPER? A CAPER summarizes CDBG accomplishments, and for this year, 2018-19. It also assesses progress towards completing activities in the action plans, consolidated plan, and assessment of fair housing. It updates HUD on expenditures of CDBG funds, and then it also provides the community a chance to comment on CDBG activities. So the great news is I have a lot of great news to report, and we have accomplished a lot in CDBG over the past year. In 2018-19, CDBG funded 9 unique service providers. In conjunction with the Fair Housing Council of Riverside County, we provided fair housing services by assisting 359 clients, including 345 landlord-tenant mediation services and 14 anti-discrimination complaints. We completed the construction of a sidewalk project along Mercedes Street and initiated the replacement of boardwalks in Old Town. We provided 68 underserved youth with new clothing and school supplies through the Assistance League. We completed 3 housing rehabilitation projects through the Habitat for Humanity Critical Home Maintenance and Repair Improvement Program for a total of 27 units over the life of the program. We served 57 persons experiencing homelessness or those at risk of homelessness through the city's Homeless Prevention and Diversion Program. We provided before and after school care for 8 children through the Boys and Girls Club. We provided 65 persons experiencing homelessness or underserved individuals with emergency food through the VNW Circle of Care program. CDBG assisted 54 domestic violence victims through SAFE, provided hospice care through Hospice of the Valleys for 40 elderly persons, provided specially trained service dogs through canine support teams for 2 persons with disabilities, and provided direct advocacy for 6 foster children through Voices for Children. There are a lot of great organizations doing wonderful things in the community, and we appreciate their continued partnership. The second item for the council to consider this evening is a substantial amendment to the 2016-17, 17-18, and 19-20 annual action plans. So what signifies a substantial amendment to the CDBG annual action plan? According to the Citizen Participation Plan, a substantial amendment is required when a substantial change is proposed to an action plan, which includes increasing the budget by $50,000 or more, increasing the budget of an activity by 25% or more of the original budget. There is a significant change in the purpose, scope, or beneficiaries of an activity, or the city proposes to add or delete an activity. The proposed substantial amendment is pretty straightforward, but it does affect annual action plans from 3 program years. In the 2019-20 annual action plan, so this year, approximately $323,000 was allocated towards public facilities ADA improvements. Because a specific ADA project was not yet identified, the substantial amendment proposes to reallocate that money towards 2 existing sidewalk projects, which also bring these sidewalks into ADA compliance. So with that, staff recommends that City Council adopt 2 resolutions, one approving the Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, or CAPER, with the addition of public comments, and authorizing staff to submit the report to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and secondly, approve the substantial amendments to 2016-17, 17-18, and 2018-19 action plans. That concludes my presentation, and I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions at this point? I don't see any questions. We're going to open the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, do we have any speakers?
Mr. Mayor, we do not.
Thank you very much. We're going to close the public hearing. Do we have any council discussion or a motion?
I have one comment.
Please.
And I'll say publicly what I leaned over and said to you. Some of the numbers that we showed, agencies that were supported and things that were assisted, where we were able to assist our nonprofits, some of those numbers seem kind of low. And that is because the city has a limited amount of CDBG funding. And so we find ourselves having to divide it amongst all the nonprofits that apply, that we approve for funding. So just to give an example, Assistance League was, 68 children or something like that clothed. In fact, the Assistance League clothed probably like 3,000 children last year, but the city was only able to give them enough money for 68 of those because, again, we divided the money up amongst the different nonprofits. So I don't want people to think that our nonprofits are serving fewer city residents or clients. They are not. But this just reflects the CDBG funding that we're able to give them. And the city supports them in other ways, too. So.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
That was Councilmember Edwards, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Stewart. Please register your vote. Thank you, and that passes 5-0. Let's see what we have here. Do we have a public safety report tonight? Or no? I don't see it on my list. I just want to make sure. I see the chief sitting there. I'm not putting you on the spot.
No, actually, in keeping with tonight's theme, Mr. Mayor and City Council, we wanted to bring Sergeant Gaskins up for a night for all of you to say goodbye to him as he leaves our station.
Sweet. Sergeant, come on down.
I voted no.
I know. I tried to deny it, and I was overruled. Lieutenant Hatfield's going to say a few words, and then I'll come down for a presentation.
Sounds good.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce Sergeant Chris Gaskins. When I first came to the department, or was first assigned out to the Southwest Station, He was one of the first people that I grew to depend on for his competency, his strong will. He's one of those guys, not a self-promoter, but he's definitely a competent person who has done a great service to the city, which I would like to just go over a brief synopsis of some of the things that he's done throughout his career. In September 2000, then Deputy Gaskins was transferred to the Southwest Station as a newly sworn deputy sheriff from the academy. He was assigned to patrol until April 2002, when he was reassigned to the problem-oriented policing team. He excelled at developing strong relationships with members of the community in an effort to solve quality-of-life issues. In April 2005, Gaskins was promoted to corporal and transferred to the Moreno Valley Sheriff Station. He was again assigned to patrol operations until April 2006, when he was transferred to the newly formed at that time Regional Gang Task Force, which was responsible for the Temecula-Murrieta area. He quickly developed an expertise in gangs and their various criminal activities. Gaskins was then promoted to sergeant and transferred to Southwest Station in October 2009, where he's remained. He was first assigned to patrol operations, and he remained there until February 2012, at which time he was once again assigned to the problem-oriented policing team, where he was their supervisor. Sergeant Gaskins noticed that many of the calls for service that we began receiving out here in this area was related to homelessness. Not willing just to allow that to be the issue, he began researching what other agencies throughout the area was doing to address this increasing crisis. Sergeant Gaskins proposed the development of a Temecula homeless outreach team. The proposal was approved and implemented in June 2015. At that time, the team consisted of 2 full-time deputy sheriffs and himself, serving as their supervisor. The team networked with nonprofit organizations and city and county resources to formulate an outreach plan to assist homeless persons towards self-sufficiency. Simultaneously, the team enforced criminal laws and ordinance violations. In November 2016, the team was expanded to 4 full-time deputies. Sergeant Gaskins continued to supervise both the homeless outreach team and the problem-oriented policing teams until June 2018, at which time he returned to patrol operations. As one of the go-to sergeants, Sergeant Gaskins used his knowledge and skills he developed to mentor less tenured sergeants and deputies to educate them about many things, including homeless-related matters. Sergeant Gaskins will begin his new assignment at the Sheriff Personnel on September 26, 2019, and help our department in its efforts to acquire quality individuals in our growth. It is an honor to be here tonight, and especially with what we spoke about today, selfless service. Our department has developed a motto of service before self. I think Sergeant Gaskins over the years has exemplified that in the highest standards possible. Thank you.
And I'd like you guys to know that you were, I think, my second partner on the POP team back in 2002.
Yes.
So I actually got to see firsthand his true heart for helping people. And then you all know what my heart is for homeless. So when I came back here and he was running the team, I was very, very thankful. And selfishly, I probably would have kept him there much longer. But, you know, it's his time to move on. It's his time to promote. And honestly, I don't think he would have done that. So, you know, it's nice to see him go because for his own growth, he's going to do great things. And I see him eventually coming back to us here in Temecula because, of course, I am selfish. And so I want good people. So it's my honor to present you with this plaque. And it says, if I can read it, Sergeant Christopher Gaskins, Southwest Temecula Sheriff Station, recognizing and honoring your unwavering integrity and faithful service to the city of Temecula and the citizens of Riverside County, October 15th, 2009 through September 25th, 2019. Thank you so much.
Sergeant.
Thank you.
Before you say anything, I want to ask my colleagues if they have anything to say. Councilmember Ron?
Absolutely. So we're obviously sad to see you go. You know, I've had the unique pleasure of joining you on a number of incidents and teams over the last few years, and I've always been impressed by your strong stomach and and willingness to do a job that's just it's difficult. We understand that. You've exemplified what it means to be in law enforcement, and especially in law enforcement in the city of Temecula. You hopefully will bring Temecula to the rest of Riverside County and show them what we are here, and you know, show that example out there as well, and hopefully one day you return home, and you're always welcome here, and hopefully we all stay in touch and get to see you go on to your amazing next step of your career. So thank you for being a part of our family.
Thank you.
Councilmember Edwards.
Well, Councilmember Ron said it. One thing that sets, I think, Temecula apart is that our police officers are part of our family. And this is a great training ground. You know, we adopt them, we support them, and they seem to flourish here. And part of that, the negative part of that, is that we lose them to promotions. And you know, you've done more than your share of wonderful things for Temecula, and especially getting the homeless situation under control. So you have my esteemed appreciation for that, and we've set an example in that program, and you've helped to do that through your leadership. That it's been adopted by our cities up and down the 15 and the 215 freeway, and other cities in Southern California are now looking at it. So a lot of that has to do with the care that you took in doing some research, and so we appreciate that. And do come back and be part of us.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Stewart.
Well, I didn't spend a lot of time with you, but I did spend one point in time count with you. And I was very impressed with your knowledge of the homeless people that were there. Not just the situation, but the people individually. And that's what I tell people all the time, that our HOT team, they get to know these people. They know where they're from. They know what drugs they're on. They know pretty much everything that you could possibly know about these people. So it's not like it's a unknown entity. We know each and every person that is like our permanent homeless. So, that's what impressed me about you and your team, was that you guys really got to know who these people were and why they were where they were. So, good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. 10 years you've served with distinction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, it was 15 years.
Was it 15 here in Temecula?
Sorry. He's one of the longest serving deputies and sergeant here at the station.
Thank you for correcting me. Thank you. We turn the mic over to you now.
First off, I would like to thank the city and my command staff for having the opportunity to serve this community. It's been a privilege and an honor. A great city to work for, and all the staff and the leadership here. That's why I've wanted to stay here as long as I have. But as Captain McConnell mentioned, it's time for me to move on in my career. And it's bittersweet. As I mentioned, I love working in this city, and it's in my heart to keep mentoring those deputies that are coming onto this department to do what we've done in the city to make it what it is today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And we'll see you around.
I hope so.
Yeah, where are you going?
Our personnel
Yeah.
bureau up at the training center.
Okay, so you're going to get the new recruits out on the street, huh?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, our commissioners, Mr. Sullivan.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
How about you, Mr. Watts?
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
How about you, Mr. Willis?
Well, of course, I have something to report, but it'll be quick. I had the opportunity to go see Mamma Mia over at the community theater. And I don't know if it's still running, but it was well worth it. And to see Miles's joy, to see what he watched on TV 500 times come to life on the stage was absolutely unbelievable. So all of our shows over at the theater are amazing, and I just suggest to the public they get out there and take a look because it's amazing right here in town.
Thank you, Mr. Willis. Prime Minister, what do you have for us? Sergeant Chris Gaskins, I just want to say thank you for your service, your 15 years. It's been my pleasure to work alongside you, and I noticed all of the extra attention that you put in to your job, and you will be missed, but Temecula's better off because of you, so thank you for your service to our city. Mr. Attorney General.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Well, that leads us to the point of adjournment.
Move approval for adjournment.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.